Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dogs here to go over the MLB games for Thursday, April 7th, 2022. It's opening day of the baseball season, and we are starting something new here on the Pick Dogs YouTube channel. Can't wait to talk some baseball with all of you this year. Now, if you like what you see, make sure you give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Leave us a comment or two with what your picks are for the day's games in baseball. And also, if you're looking for my best bets or best bets from some of the top handicappers in the world today, make sure you check out the Premium Picks tab at pickdogs.com. Alrighty, let's get into the games for Thursday, April 7th. The MLB season opens up with an NL Central rivalry game as the Brewers take on the Cubs. Now, the Brew Crew could have the best rotation in baseball this season. The 1-2 punch of Burns and Woodruff will be lethal in what should be a pretty weak NL Central division, in my opinion. I do believe the Cubs improved in the offseason, but I still don't think it's going to be enough to compete in this division, nor in this particular matchup either. And we're getting the Brewers at a pretty good price here with Burns on the mound. Anything below minus 200 with Corbin Burns on the mound is going to be rare, in my opinion, this season. I think we take the Brewers while we still can at this price. I think they get the job done on opening day. Next up, we have the Mets taking on the Nationals in D.C. Now, the Mets are going to be without their ace in Jacob deGrom for at least a month, as he went down with an injury during spring training. Max Scherzer was the big acquisition for this Mets team in the offseason, but he's not going to be ready for opening day. But it looks like he'll pitch in this series, eventually maybe even Game 2 of this series. Tyler McGill has been rumored to get the open for the Mets in this one, but the Mets have been pretty unclear of who they're going to start on the mound. It looks like it could be a bullpen game for New York. On the other side, we've got Patrick Corbin going for the Nationals. He really struggled last year, an ERA above 5.5, and I think this Nationals team is really going to struggle this season as well. They got rid of a lot of their big-name players at the deadline last year, and Trey Turner, Max Scherzer. They're trying to rebuild around Juan Soto, which is not a bad idea. I think Soto is one of the best players in the league right now, but it's probably going to be another down year for this Washington team. And I think on opening day, the Mets have been a pretty good opening day team as of late. I think their new look lineup does some damage on Corbin in this one. I'm willing to lay the run line with the Mets in Game 1. The next game we're going to look at is the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Kansas City Royals in KC. Now, both of these teams struggled quite a bit on both sides of the ball last season, and I do expect some struggles for these teams in 2022 as well. The Guardians' main priority was re-signing Jose Ramirez, and they got that job done on Wednesday, April 6th. They signed into a 5-year deal, and he's the type of guy you can really build your franchise around going forward. The Guardians are going to bring Shane Bieber to the mound for opening day. He only pitched 96 2/3 innings last season as he was injured for most of the year, but a 3.17 ERA in those innings, and he's been a sharp pitcher in the American League the last few seasons. I look for him to have another strong season in Cleveland this year. The newly acquired Zach Greinke gets the start for the Royals, and I'm on the fence about this pickup. It looks like Greinke's numbers are regressing a bit as he's getting older. He didn't have a great season in Houston last year. In 2020, it was about mixed results. So it'll be interesting to see if the change of scenery, going back to his original team, will make the difference for him. But in this particular game, I think we're going to see a low-scoring battle. I think both of these teams are going to struggle in the run-scoring department early on this year, especially the Guardians, a lineup that's really top-heavy with just Jose Ramirez and Franmil Reyes at the top, but the bottom not really getting a lot of production. I'll take the under in this game. Might not be the most exciting one, but it's opening day baseball nonetheless. Next up, we have the Pirates taking on the Cardinals. Now, the Pirates did only win 61 games last year, and they did not spend much in the offseason, so it's really tough for me to be a believer in this Buccos team in 2022. Pittsburgh does have some young talent that should take the next step in the development process, and guys like Ke'Bryan Hayes are always fun to watch, but this team still has a ton of holes, and to face an experienced and well-rounded Cardinals team in the opening series, it's just a really tough spot to be in. Brubaker and Wainwright are the projected starters for these two teams, and neither was very impressive in spring training so far. I'm not rushing to the window for this game, but I'll lean towards St. Louis on the run line here. I think the Cardinals lineup is in a much better spot, and I think it's going to be too strong for the Pirates to handle here. The Reds are taking on the defending World Series champion Atlanta Braves on opening day. Now, similar to the Oakland A's, the Reds had basically a yard sale in this offseason. Plenty of big-name players departing Cincinnati and making their ways to other clubs. Guys like Nick Castellanos, Jesse Winker, Michael Givens, to name a few, moving on to different teams. And the Reds do not look strong on paper, especially in the starting rotation. This could be one of the weaker starting rotations in baseball. to start the season. Tyler Mahle's going to get the start on opening day for the Reds, and he's going to face a Braves lineup that was ranked 10th in the league in team OPS and 6th in the league in team OPS against right-handed pitching. Max Fried is the projected starter for the Braves, and he was key for the Braves in their Game 6 win in the World Series over the Astros. And I think this is a really bad spot for the Reds, not only this game, but this season. I think it's going to be a pretty rough one for Cincinnati fans, unfortunately. And I think the Braves are going to win this game pretty handily. So I'll lay the run line with Atlanta here. Next up, we have the Astros taking on the Angels. Now, the Astros lineup took a big hit with the loss of Carlos Correa as he moved on to the Minnesota Twins in the offseason. But this Astros lineup is still very strong on paper, and I think that the Astros are going to be a team to watch out for in the American League yet again this season. The Angels could quite honestly have the top 2 players in baseball with Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, and Ohtani's going to get the start on opening day on the mound. Last year, he was 9-2 with a 3.31 ERA. Certainly the strongest pitcher on the mound for the Angels last year by miles. Now, the Angels are always have big expectations year after year after year, but they haven't made the playoffs since 2014, and they've been a disappointment every single season since then. I still think if you're getting plus money with the Houston Astros, a very competent team, it's not a bad place to be in. So with Framber Valdez on the mound, a guy who had a really strong season last year, a surprise season for Houston, I'll take the plus money with the defending American League champs in the Astros here. We wrap up opening day baseball with the Padres taking on the Diamondbacks. Now, if the Twins were not the most disappointing team in 2021, it had to have been the San Diego Padres, who only won 79 games last year. A lot of underperformers and a lot of injuries that the Padres had to deal with last year. And one of the underperformers was Yu Darvish, who had won the NL Cy Young in 2020 with the Cubs and then had a 4.2 ERA with the Padres in his first season in San Diego. Now, this Diamondbacks lineup does not look very good on paper. The Diamondbacks were ranked 26th last season in team OPS as a team. Arizona's going through the dog days of the rebuilding process, and I think it's going to be another losing season for the D-backs in a pretty tough NL West division. Madison Bumgarner is going to get the opening day start for the D-backs here, and he's not really had much luck in Arizona in the first 2 seasons that he spent there. I think Arizona is going to really struggle to get on the scoreboard in this game. I do expect a much stronger season from Yu Darvish this year, and I think this game is going to go under the total. As although I think the Padres bats are going to get to Madison Bumgarner, I don't think it's going to be enough to push this one over. So I'll take the under in San Diego, Arizona. And that's it. That's the schedule for MLB opening day. I hope this season treats you very, very kindly. And again, if you like this video, make sure to give us a big thumbs up. Comment down below the picks that you have for today's games in baseball. And as always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.